Welcome back, and let's take it straight back to the World Economic Forum. More coming in from that Davos summit this year. And Shereen Bhan also caught up with Tony Fernandes, the group CEO of AirAsia, and spoke to him on a wide range of issues, including, remember, the impact of Tata Mistry, Tussle on AirAsia, which is a Tata Group company.
Tony, thanks very much for joining us.
Pleasure.
Let me ask you
about... Wouldn't
about...
be the same without bumping into you at Davos.
No, it wouldn't. So let me start by asking you about what you make of the India story. You've been sort of tentative and cautious, especially about the regulatory environment. The new civil aviation policy is out there.
Yeah.
Do you feel any differently about India today?
Yeah, very much. At least we have some clarity. We know that once we reach 20 aircraft, we can do this. I think there's clarity on the regional airports. So it's given us some light at the end of the tunnel. We're very excited. We always have been. It's been painful, as it's been well documented. But we had a record month last month. We're adding more aircraft now, and we have clarity, and that's the biggest word.
But it's not what you wanted. I mean, it's not the rules are not what you wanted.
You don't get everything you want in life.
Sure. So you've made your peace with them.
Made my peace. We move on. It's better than what it was. It's not as great as what we wanted to, but you know, it gives us some finality.
So what is the expansion plan now in terms of fleet addition? What are you looking at?
Yeah, the question was whether we try and put in all aircraft this year to hit the 20, or whether we continue to do it in the right way. So we've accelerated from a very much slower pace. And
so what are you, about 7?
No, we're now about to hit 10.
Okay, you're about to hit 10.
And we will probably end up with about 15 or 16 aircraft by the end of this year.
By the end of 2017?
Correct.
Okay,
correct.
15 or 16 aircraft. You know, outside of the regulatory issues, one of the other issues that AirAsia India is faced with is this spat between Cyrus Mistry and the Tatas, and you know, you're caught in the middle of that. How's that impacting business?
Well, you've given us a lot of publicity. We're in the newspapers every day. It's helped our brand. Everyone knows AirAsia. No, I mean, nothing really, because we're really not involved in that. You know, of course, there's some collateral damage for us, but it hasn't affected the business, hasn't affected the morale of the staff. In fact, if anything, it's hardened their conviction.
But do you worry now that the matter which is already in court related to the violations pertaining to FDI, this is likely to impact?
That's been there from the beginning, right?
That's true.
That's been there from the beginning, and I...
Yeah, but this is now an insider sort of, or a former insider, adding weight to that.
It's really up to the regulators, and it's up to India's investment climate, which I think has changed quite dramatically, and India's very much more open. I've come to many India's ready for business conferences. That's out of my hand. We think we do good for India. We think we do good for the Indian consumer. We want to bring lots of tourists to India, but it's out of my hands. It's up to the government to decide whether they... But I'm confident that they will rule in our favours.
Any changes expected? You've just seen a change at the top with Mithu moving out, and you've got a new CEO in place. But outside of that, any changes that we should expect?
No, I think our commercial director's done a fantastic job. Kiran's done a great job. She's a fighter. She's got a lot of the AirAsia spirit. The staff have done great. Interesting enough, I never announced this on TV, but we have our own internal surveys within the AirAsia group, and the one with the highest customer satisfaction of any of my airlines is India, consistently. So the team have done a very, very good job. So we'll just continue what we're doing, and from AirAsia's point of view, AirAsia Malaysia, we're flying more to India now. We're looking at more of the tertiary and secondary cities, and Delhi has been very successful, and so we hope we can get more rights to fly to Bombay, etc.
So what about the road to profitability now?
Well, the road profitability is really governed by how aggressive... We could be profitable now, but as we keep adding capacity, then the profitability takes a little bit of a hit. I don't see us being profitable in 2017, but that's a function of adding a lot more aircraft into the system and starting a lot more new routes. But we've crossed that barrier where, you know, it's kind of Amazon time, where they can make profit anytime they want to make. It's whether they continue to invest or not. So we now believe we've hit gone over that crest where we can make money.
Okay, but what's the visibility, if not in 2017, when...
I'd say middle of 18.
Middle of 18. In terms of capital infusion, given the fact that you are expanding fleet, what should we
our partners, and I hope to meet the new chairman here, have been very supportive. We've had no issue when we both the manager have asked for capital calls, so we'll continue. It's a business that's working, so we'll continue funding it, and the Tatas have been very supportive.
So you continue to be committed to this joint venture?
Very much, very much. It's not easy to find partners. You get married once, so we will stick at it.
So, my final question to you, what brings you back to Davos year after year?
I get to meet the Tata chairman. I get to meet you. It's a great place to meet people. I have two agendas. One is there are lots of deals I'm doing for AirAsia, but then I'm a big proponent of ASEAN.
So outside of India, what's looking exciting for AirAsia in 2017?
ASEAN, China. India has to be the most exciting, to be honest, from a group perspective, because we see a lot of tourists that we can bring to India. But for me, Davos is two things. One, building the AirAsia brand, doing some deals that, you get to see a lot of people in a very short period of time. But also I'm pushing the ASEAN agenda. I'm a big believer in ASEAN. And Davos is a great platform for us to push the leaders, to thought leaders, to media leaders of ASEAN, and so that's the second part of Davos for me. Thursday and Friday we're very focused on ASEAN. These first few days are on AirAsia. And, of course, meeting yourself.
Thank you very much, Tony.
Pleasure.
Good to see you.
Thank you for a very professional interview.
Wish you all the very best. Thanks very much for joining us.